God, give me the strength to not walk in fear because I understand that fear brings back bad habits. Fear brings compromise. It makes me it makes me compromise myself, compromise who you are, and I want to get better at all of those things. I was watching. I was reading Genesis 20 and I actually read that before the weekend started, but at first it was hard for me to understand, I guess, any like wisdom, should I say. It was hard for me to catch it at first. And then as I sat on it and I reread it and I sat on it and I reread it, I started to actually get so much wisdom from this that I didn't even know what to talk about. But for me so far, really the biggest thing that I got from this chapter though, Genesis 20, is that when you walk in fear, you bring back those bad habits and you compromise God and even our prophets, the ones that God chosen, does that. In Genesis 20, it's about Abraham and his wife Sarah. And pretty much this is right when after God's come to them and told them that he's gonna give them a child. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? So this is before they have Isaac. And they travel. And another thing, why does everybody in the Bible travel? Everybody in the Bible is always traveling. But all right, they just left and they traveled to another town and they get there and immediately Abraham goes back to his old ways, his old bad habits after God came to him and told him everything is yours. Don't worry. You and your wife's gonna have a child, another child, so don't worry. He goes to this other town and immediately tells the king that his wife is his sister. Like that's kind of like this old bad habit play that he does, and he goes back into fear and he does that immediately. And now this king takes his wife, because he believes that's his sister, and luckily and thankfully God, because no matter what, even though we walk in fear and even though we make bad decisions because we're walking in fear, God, whatever his promise is to us, whatever he said he's going to do for us, he's going to do it regardless of the mistakes you make. I don't want to say mistakes, but the decisions you make that could, in a sense, almost take your blessings away. God's not taking their blessings away. So what God got for you is for you. Don't allow nobody to tell you or make you believe that somebody can take your blessing or you can mess up your blessing. God already have it written in stone. It's not being messed up. But it's our problem that we have. And Abraham even done this, that he went on and he told the king that they ain't his daughter, his wife, that's his sister, because he's scared, even though God told you not to be, and then luckily God talks to that king in his dream, in which I didn't get this. Like, it's just so much gems in this chapter, right? So this guy, this king, he's not even a believer of God, so it just goes to show you that God still can talk to the non-believers at times if he needs to get to us, right? And what I mean by that is that, boom, God goes into his dream and tell him, hey, you messing up, you gonna mess up your whole family, your whole religion, your whole legacy. You sit here messing with this married woman. And he like, wait, what? I thought this is his sister. Nope. This is God telling him, hey, no, this is his wife. You know what I mean? So he goes to Abraham and I can't think of the word that's in the Bible specifically, but pretty much get on him about God's word. You know what I mean? Hey, why would you do that? This is your wife. You gonna, you know what I'm saying? And give him his wife back and give him and blesses them. And so it's like God even used the non-believer to redirect the believer. You know what I mean? So boom, he uses him and gets him back and got and David, Abraham, um, he prays for him and God blesses him. You know what I mean? Even though David was messing up, moving in sin again out of fear, not believing in God, God redirected his spirit and his soul with a non-believer, you know what I mean? And put them back on track for what God promises was. So just another nugget that I got too, man, is as we walk in this journey and we feeling like we keep messing up. And especially me, y'all, like just being vulnerable, I feel like so many decisions that I make in my life, it sometimes I feel like, is it really taken away from what God is blessing for me? But it's like, you gotta believe in God. Remember that everything that He got going on in your life is directed towards the journey and the mission and the goal that He has, the promise for you. You know what I mean? And sometimes we may mess up by ourselves by not believing in Him, making decisions that can steer the journey that He got for you. But He's gonna put that journey back for you. Trust me. You know, it's so crazy to just listen to that, in a sense, like how, like I said, Abraham, God talked to Abraham and Sarah. He told him the goal. He gave him their promise. Y'all gonna have a child together. You know, you're gonna make Isaac. And before that, he almost messed that up, giving his wife to another king, talking about that's his sister, because he's scared and he's moving in disbelief of God again. You know, but guess what? God, like, brother, you messing up. You know, you finna feel this pain a little bit. I'm gonna have to correct you. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't messing up with this promise that I already said. You know what I mean? So now I gotta go talk to this non-believer and make sure he know what's up. You know, it's just crazy how God is going to make sure. So don't never, as hard as it is to say that, because we do it. And I don't want to say give ourselves grace, but give ourselves grace, because look at Abraham, who does it over and over and over, who keep, you know what I mean, going back to the same bad sin, and he's trying to work himself too, but God give us mercy for that. So, but just understand that as you do that, try to correct yourself. And when you hear God correcting you in other places, listen to that, because that's God having to jump wherever He needs to make sure He help us. You know, so I just thank God for the growth and the strength that I have today. And I pray that He keeps making me stronger. Um, that's all I got today, y'all. Peace.